Hello everybody, welcome back to the 5-Star Potential Podcast Social. We're on to day 8 of our daily lockdown podcast. Hope you guys are keeping well and safe. My name is Dave, and alongside me today, as you can see, I've got some more of my favourite Football Manager community members. We have got returning Mr. Friday Night FM. Joe, how's it going?
Hi Dave, you had a good day, mate?
Tired. I woke up really late today. Had missed calls off delivery drivers.
Where's that, mate?
Yeah, definitely wasn't exporting Mad FM's podcast as well. So that isn't Mad FM's fault, by the way. I made that out to be his fault then, but yeah, you know.
The chuckle there. Sorry, I just forwarded Dope your TikTok video.
Oh. It's a good video.
If this video gets 50 likes, we'll release that on the Wishing FM Twitter.
Yeah. I should never have sent that to Joe because I just know that's going to come back to bite me one day. We also got Dupe. How's it going, mate?
Good evening, mate. Yes, I'm well. I'm very well.
I know you've got a story for us today, so We'll wait until after this.
I do have a couple of stories for you today, David.
I can't believe that video, man. And our special guest today is none other than Mr. TomFM. Tom, how's it going, man?
I'm right, thanks, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, all good, thank you. All good. Right, we'll talk to you a bit more in a second, Tom, but I know, Dupe, it's been a week since your last contact lens appointment. You've had an update. Talk to us.
I've got an update. First and foremost, I want to apologise if there's a loud banging in the background because I honestly feel like I need to go out and get wood and build an ark. That's how much it's raining currently outside.
Yeah.
So?
I can hear it.
That is loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really loud. So I do apologise. As you can see, I'm not wearing glasses, David.
You aren't?
Well, because I got them here.
Yeah.
No, I've got contact lenses in. They're in. It's a miracle I can see. So yeah, how exciting. I'm excited to wear a mask and be able to see. It's the little things in life that please me. And my wife.
How was the whole experience? Pretty stress-free this time?
It's very strange when somebody else touches your eyeball. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't know if you've ever had anyone else touch your eyeball before.
No.
But what they have to do is they have to put it in your eye first to make sure it's in right to do your vision check, and then they do like a training where you take it in and out, and it's weird when somebody touches your eyeball. I mean, yeah.
This is the content I subscribe for.
Yeah, and also news on my best mate and his girly friend. They didn't move in together. They are still together. They do socially distanced walks in the park, but they didn't move in, Dave. I know people would ask, so...
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
It was literally the first thing that Curtie texted me this morning. Have you found out about your mate and his missus
Did
yet?
he actually?
So, yeah, he genuinely did, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Anyway, Tom, it's good to have you on. Another guest onto the podcast. We've had such a difference of guests on every single podcast. People in different countries, people in different jobs, different roles, and so on. So obviously we're going to learn a bit more about you and your life and how it's been impacted over the last sort of 12 months or so. Obviously lockdown, it's been lockdown 2 has been in force, been in action for almost 2 weeks. Well, just over a week now, actually.
Not even a week.
Yeah, not even a week. It was a week today. Yeah, that's my bad. Lockdown. Yeah, it was announced almost 2 weeks ago. Well, yeah, just over a week. So, what was your reaction when this lockdown 2 was announced? Like, how have you sort of taken to that?
I was expecting it. I did think we'd have another lockdown. I think once we saw France, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands all start going to lockdown, I thought it was pretty much a matter of time before we'd have another one. But for me, I feel like I'm maybe in the minority. I feel like I'm quite lucky because I don't mind being in lockdown, just because I think as a person I'm a bit more happy in my own company and things like that. That's just sort of me as a person. So I've not been too badly affected by it. I mean, I quite enjoy working from home.
Your moustache tells us different, Tom.
Well, yeah, I thought not seeing anyone it would be all right, but then you forget you're on the internet every day, so people do see.
You look like the Audi version of Ron Jeremy, mate. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
Big moustache, tiny cock.
Yeah, sounds about right. It'll go soon.
Which one?
No, both, completely both. Yeah, it will go soon. But yeah, working from home, I've got a long commute from here to this desk, which that's a bit of a different setup, being in one room all day. So that can have its challenges in a way, because like you do get a little bit isolated sometimes. But I don't know. I found it okay personally, and I feel like I'm probably quite lucky in that regard. I know a lot of people don't.
I'm surprised you don't like put your green screen up and just make it look like you're somewhere else, because you're quite good at doing that with the old Streamer Showdown, and we see it a lot with Dave. Where's Dave's calendar? Where's Dave's calendar?
Is that with like a six-pack or something?
Yeah, you're on the dartboard. Yeah, Dave was. He was topless on the picture above the bed.
You can't see that. He's topless in his TikTok as well.
Is he?
I'm really not.
Yeah.
I need to see that. But you can't see that Dave picture now because that Dave picture's on the ceiling now, which looks down on me.
To be fair, if you looked at yours and Dave's room at the moment, you could just be streaming from the same room, just at a different perspective.
Yeah, different angles.
Oh, yeah,
completely.
Look at checking out the bookcase.
Yeah. See, Dave, that's what. If you look at Tom's now, that's what happens when somebody respects where they live. Compared to you.
Oh, man. The room's pretty tidy, but it's really not. It's
really not. The thing is, right, when you're on stream and I do it, right, there's obviously an area that my camera can see, and I make sure that those areas are tidy. I'm not saying my room isn't messy.
Let me give you a tour right now of this room, because there is no. It's
fucking mad all over again.
The last one,
yeah,
it was. It was in my bedroom, which you lot remember. The last one. So, like, obviously there, I got a window, Elgato green screen, some old light and all that. Behind me, I've got all these shirts and old files for work. And then on the left, we've got the old school AIDS printer. Now it's moved. It's still here. Yeah, up the printer. So there's not much.
What's through the door, Dave?
Hey.
What's through the door?
Through that door? The hallway?
Hallway.
That's where the magic happens.
That is where the magic happens through there. So,
okay.
Yeah. Speaking about Mad, we spoke to Mad FM, who's in a sort of similar situation to you, Tom, where he's working from home, the same PC he's on all day is what he plays FM and writes his blogs and stuff on. He said at times it can be a bit difficult that when he sat there 8 or 9 hours working, to actually sort of almost be sat in the same place again doing what you enjoy at times can be sort of difficult. It's a bit strange. Do you feel that same sort of way?
Yeah, definitely. Because, especially with the beta out right now, I can be sat here from waking up to going to sleep, which obviously isn't ideal. So I mean, when in between lockdowns, I was spending a lot of time trying to get out of the house, going to the gym and stuff like that, and going for a lot of runs at the moment and things like that, and trying to do some home workouts as now. So that sort of breaks things up a bit. I feel like that's really helped because I do enjoy being active and fit and whatnot. So I think that's quite a good thing for me to do, at least as a person. That's what I enjoy.
Yeah, and I think with obviously during lockdown, home workouts, I think everyone's doing. I saw the gym as well, like you say. Like you were a bit concerned about the gyms, weren't you? I remember from your tweets.
Yeah, I was, to be fair, because I went back to start going to the gym. I wanted to get back in there. I was pretty keen to do that. It kind of made sense to me that you'd probably go there, wear a mask. You'd walk around in a mask and probably take it off when you're at your equipment. So that's what I was doing, and I kept doing. And then no one else was doing it, which I thought was really bizarre. And even some of the gym instructors there were like, "Oh, by the way, you don't have to wear a mask in here." And I was like, "Yeah, I know I don't, but I'd rather just sort of keep it on."
Yeah.
And then it was probably a month or so before lockdown. Suddenly there was this big initiative where, you need to wear a mask all the time in the gym now when you're walking around. So obviously they sort of saw, a correlation between
trend setter
or a trend. Yeah, well, I'm a trend setter, I know, definitely. But there must have seen some sort of correlation, and I had to isolate for 2 weeks because I was in the gym, and I got a notification from the NHS app saying you've been in close contact with someone who had COVID, and that would have been only from the gym, to be fair, because that's the only place I'd been on that day. So I had to isolate for 2 weeks. Didn't have anything. I was fine, which is lucky. But
did they hashtag it, Tom?
Did they hashtag it?
Yeah. Did they get the right hashtag?
Yeah, they did get the right hashtag. I've the amount of typos I've done in the past week have been horrible.
Sing.
Yeah, singed, sing, FM20. I've got it all wrong this week. I'm blaming the new keyboard, but I don't think I can do. The amount of mistakes have been, I don't think I can blame
I just keep seeing people replying to your tweets going, really?
Yeah. I need to do a bit more proofreading, clearly.
I think, I'm a big advocate of it for Twitter to actually get an edit button. So maybe you can jump on my bandwagon and try and protest with me, Tom.
Yeah, I think I will do. And that's when you go viral with something and then change it to something really outrageous.
Yeah.
And then you get cancelled.
Yeah, I can kind of see that, but, we're not all David.
Dave just used Inspect Element.
Yeah.
Yeah. Inspect Element.
Yeah. I did one on my FM21 teams to manage. I'd put FM20 in the description, so I had hashtag FM21. And I had a message yesterday of someone says, by the way, good video, but have you noticed that you...
I like the way he drops in the good video.
I had to drop that. A good video, but do you notice you put FM20? I was like, oh, right, okay. So, yeah, I was the same. I think I'll probably still do that at least 2 or 3 times over the next couple of weeks as well, to be fair.
Not completely.
I've just got a notification, FYI, that the FM Football Manager 2021 beta is now out. Clear your calendars. Your life is this now.
Oh.
Just saying. Did you know it was out?
I mean...
I hadn't heard, actually.
I thought it was FM20 that was out.
Oh.
I mean, I thought so, but... First.
Sorry,
I'll have to
David.
download that later on.
Likes this.
Yeah. So...
He must love... Sorry, Dave. I'm just going to butt once more. He must love today. Today must be his favourite day of the calendar. Because he's the furthest away from somebody asking him when the fucking beta's out.
Probably get someone asking.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he is so far away from somebody asking him when the beta's out. It's today. Must be his favourite day of the year.
I just
I
see
don't
him
know.
working in people's streams as well.
Yeah.
Like all the SI staff.
Ooh.
He'll be
Lurking
asking...
around. They're loving it.
People will be asking him when the January transfer window updates.
Yeah.
True.
That's
Normally
their next
March,
thing.
right?
Yeah, something like that. So when you had to isolate Tom, like, was that a big issue for you? Obviously, you work from home anyway, so it wasn't like, it wasn't going to hold you back massively. But obviously, was it a bit frustrating for you when you were finishing your work? You couldn't go out for walks or couldn't, do what you wanted to do, really?
Yeah, that was a little bit too fair, actually. I missed the gym. Couldn't really go out and about. I mean, I didn't have anything, so I suppose I could have done. And if I wasn't going anywhere near one, maybe I could have done. But, like, I don't want to... I'd rather be safer than sorry. I don't want to, like, if I accidentally did have it or, had no symptoms or whatever, I didn't want to run that risk. So I stayed in for those 2 weeks. It was all right, to be fair, because through the week it was kind of okay with working it normally. So that didn't seem too much change. The annoying thing was the one weekend I had things planned by going to go and see friends was the weekend I had to stay isolated, so I had to cancel that, obviously, which wasn't great. And now I have to rearrange for December, whenever lockdown finishes. But for me, it was okay. But I guess I was lucky because at home with family and stuff like that. So there are people there to interact with and talk to. I feel like if I was like Jack living on my own, I feel like that would be a lot harder.
Yeah, and with so obviously, what was your work situation before the first lockdown? Have you always worked from home anyway, or did you have like an office job or?
Yeah. So working in the office 5 days a week, and then I think just before the lockdown was announced, they said literally everyone go home, take stuff with you. In fact, no, we didn't say take stuff with us. We had about a week or two where no one did anything because they just weren't quite sure what was going to happen. So like a nice 2 week holiday, which
So
was
you work
great.
for the council?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. That's pretty standard anyway. But no, yeah. So it was quite nice those first 2 weeks, and then obviously we had to go and get stuff and bring it back, which actually been quite nice because I've got this huge monitor at work, which is now my second monitor in this setup now, which is quite good.
And that's not going back to the office,
Oh, yeah.
is it?
No. I'm
never
going to
took
keep
my
this for as
monitor
long
home.
as possible.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. And what did you? Obviously, the first lockdown was a bit of a shock to everyone. Really, what did you do to almost entertain yourself in a non-dirty way, which I'm sure Duke will try and turn it into?
Well, I was going to say he's got a shake weight behind him.
Yeah.
I can see it next to his guitar.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's a land patch, I think, but it does look like it, doesn't it?
You think?
It's not my room.
It's not my
Yeah, so that first lockdown was announced. I took it pretty seriously to start off with, actually, because it was mental at the time. Everyone's being told to stay at home. Took it seriously, and then as things started to open up, I think I got pretty lucky because a lot of my friends who had moved away from Lincoln and whatnot all came back, moving back in home for lockdown and things like that. So in a weird way, in that lockdown period where we're meant to be in lockdown but you're allowed to go and see people every now and again, I think that's the most I've seen my close group of friends since we were all at school together and things like that. So I had a great time, to be fair, at that sort of period. Every weekend we go and meet up in someone's garage or garden. It was summer, so it was really nice. And just have a few beers and stuff like that.
Quick question: what do you do in the garage, mate? When you said meet up in their garage or their garden?
Because so no social distancing stuff. You couldn't go into someone's house, so
Changing tyres.
he had like one of my mates has got this like just a huge garage, like double garage, with just nothing in it. So
Weird flex, but okay.
we just put loads of chairs in there, and that's just where we chill out and stuff. And
Nice. All right. I mean, you
it
do
was
you.
quite good.
Cool.
It was quite good, to be fair. So yeah, this is all before the pubs open and stuff like that as well. So it was perfect for us to just sort of meet up and so that was great, to be fair. Being able to do that, see those guys, and actually spend a lot of time with them for like the first time since we'd all sort of moved away to uni and gone to work and things like that. So it was really good.
I think that's what it's done. Weirdly, it's brought a lot of people, friends, families, a lot closer together. Communities, like we've said how many times about the FM community. But yeah, friends and family. Like you're doing Zoom quizzes with family members that you ain't seen in months, or your friends. Like I did a Zoom quiz with my mates, like you said, who moved away, or one that I hadn't seen in a number of months as well. So I think that it has done that, really. Just made everyone closer all together in a really strange way.
Yeah, it's been great, to be fair. It's been great getting to. Cause I feel like I'm a lot closer to those guys as well. Like obviously we're always really close because we sort of grew up together.
What, 2 meters apart, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, of course. But like
2
in
meters
this
close.
Yeah. True.
But like in this friendship group, that there's 2 guys in there that I've literally known since I was like born, pretty much. So we've always been really tight and close. But I think like just being able to spend a lot more time together, and I think as well because like. Since we all went at university, yes, we haven't like seen each other as much and spoken as much, and obviously we've all sort of moved to different places for work and things like that. And I think in that sort of from 18 to 23 we are now, you change so much as a person, and I feel like perhaps we hadn't quite recognised that as much. So I think it was good to sort of get to know everyone better a bit more, even though we've known each other 23 years.
So you said earlier that obviously you're sort of living with your family at the moment. What impact did the lockdown have on your family and family lifestyle, really?
I think it hit my sister hard. She's a lot more social than I am, to be fair. So she really enjoys going out, seeing all her friends and things like that. When she couldn't do that, I think that was really difficult for her. My dad, I think he found it difficult not being in the office. So I found that very strange because, I find it strange because obviously, through school, uni, I've only been in like work for like 2 years. So for me, it doesn't really feel that much different. I'm used to either being at school or at home or uni, which is basically just a home, basically. You live in a house, don't you? You don't really go in. So I'm kind of used to it. But like my dad was like, it's just so weird not being in the office. Like he really missed it. And I found that really difficult to sort of understand. So I think that hit him quite hard, to be fair, working from home as opposed to being in the office and that social side of it. I don't know. And then my mum was all right, to be fair. I think she's a bit more like me. So she didn't mind it too much. But yeah, definitely dad and sister, it hit them a bit harder.
And how have you all got on, all being in the house a lot more with each other?
No, to be fair, we've all got on pretty well. I think that maybe more just keeping out each other's way more than anything else. But in a different way, like I feel like I've got a lot closer to my sister as well, because there's a 5-year gap between us. So I think like growing up, that 5-year gap is quite big when you're growing up. Like I'd be 13, she'd be 8. That's completely different interests and whatnot. So I think as we've got older, and it's a bit more of a similar age, similar interests and mindsets and stuff. We've got a lot closer, which has been really nice actually. Being able to see her a lot more, and I don't know. It sounds weird, but get to know her better almost, because like you are so different when you're younger, and you don't really care that much, do you? I suppose. But as you get older, I think it's more important to have those close connections and bonds. So that's been really nice actually.
I think.
What's the thoughts of you dressing up, doing your Streamer Showdown stuff and the Football Manager? Because obviously, like for at times, obviously at your house, if you live with your parents and your sister and that, they must be able to hear you and know what's going on, right? Are they cool with it all, or do you kind of?
No, yeah, they are very supportive actually. It took me so I started doing it at uni, the YouTube stuff, and because I just saw it. I stumbled across the whole thing by accident. I thought, okay, yeah, this would be quite good to give it a go. I think I'd do quite good at it. So gave it a go, but I thought, well, this could all go wrong, and this is proper nerdy what we do. I mean, Football Manager in itself is nerdy because it's all just spreadsheets and stuff. To then record yourself and put it on the internet for others to watch, it's proper nerdy. So I'd wait till like all my housemates were out at uni and things like that, and then I'd record, so no one could hear me and things like that. And I don't think I actually told anyone for like a year or so, which is pretty mad. How I kept that a secret for so long is pretty mental, actually. And I don't know, it was a bit embarrassing, I suppose, like, because I would have to tell mum and dad at some point, oh, by the way, guys, I filmed myself, put it on the internet, and you think, oh my god, they're going to think I'm an absolute twat.
Especially with the shake.
If you say it like that.
Yeah. So,
and that moustache.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not a great look, is it?
It's my follower alert. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult as that is. Imagine telling your old man that you're going to cross the other side of the world with two older men that you've never met before. Yeah, there was some definite grooming conversations going on there. It is weird and wonderful, right? But I mean,
your dad telling you how to do it, yeah?
I'm bigger than both of them. It'll be fine. It is one of them, isn't it? It's like I'm very lucky that my wife is incredibly supportive of me. And when you live in the household with other people, they have to be supportive, you know, otherwise it's impossible. Like, we joke and we laugh about Dave's family because they're loud, but like the minute Dave does open the door and shout shut the fuck up, they do, to be fair, be very quiet, you know. And that just shows the support that they give him, and without that, you know Dave would only be able to kind of upload one Talking Walls video a week.
I still do.
Yeah, true, though, right, Dave? Like, the support that they give you is massive, right?
Yeah, like with everything though, like you say, like I've been doing it sort of on and off. Done Football Manager content for a long time, but like the Talking Wall stuff, really, like just even having time off work, or like telling people like, I'm doing this, like with the podcast or whatever, and they understand. You know what I mean? So.
That is the joy of the silver spoon, though, right?
Shut up, man.
I was going to say, Aid and Wens, they know where their bread's buttered. They know who's looking after them when they're older.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You can't rely on Zaku. It's kind of peak, isn't it?
But yeah, they like even at work. Like I'm saying, like look, I've got I did some filming like for 888 Sport last year, and it was during work time. I said, look, I've got this thing on, like, and they were like, yeah, do it, because they know like I'd regret it, or they wouldn't come calling again, you know, if I didn't do it again. So they're pretty supportive and stuff like that. But like you say, during lockdown as well, all the family, like I've got three, a brother and two sisters, but there's only like a year and a half between all of us, sort of thing, like between each of us. Not all.
I mean, would you telly break for that year or something?
Yeah, not four of us in a year and a half, but like my brother.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say.
So my brother's 19. Yeah, is he? No, 20. Yeah,
it's your brother, mate.
20. Yeah, I think he's 20. And like my oldest sister is 25. So there's only 5 years between the four of us. So we're all pretty close, and two boys, two girls.
Your younger sister's gorgeous, right?
Yeah, go on, Joe. You got something to say?
She's 11 out of 10. I was going to say, you saying about asking them. I remember you kind of asking to have time off to go and watch the football and stuff, because you was doing Talking Wolves, and you was always worried about asking for time off.
Yeah.
And then there was that one time when Miles emailed you to see if you could get a day off. He emailed your mum, didn't he?
Yeah, and you couldn't get it off, could you, Dave?
Because I deleted the email.
Let you have the day off.
I deleted the email, that's why.
Tom, let me give you a little bit of context, because like, I feel like you might be a little bit of a passenger. It's not actually Miles Jacobson. So basically what had happened is I had managed to secure a morning of the county ground, Swindon Town's ground, you know. And Joe had agreed to come over and record, or help record with his drone, some footage for the quite possibly one of the best intros or trailers for Football Manager FM 20.
It was sick. It was good.
Compared to the actual output of the save itself. We probably spent more time doing that than we did actually doing the save. Anyway, we invited Dave to come down as well, and Dave was like, yeah, I'll come down. And then he was like, actually, I've got to work. And we kind of said, just go on. You work with your mum and dad. You can just like blag it. Yeah, you'll be fine. Nope, can't do it. We FaceTimed him when he was having dinner. We literally was like, come on, Dave, have it off. And Wen's like, no, I need him to work. So Joe just emailed the company that he works for. They've got like an
fireplace company.
Yeah. I didn't want to say that. They've got like an automatic contact us. So Joe just wrote, from Miles Jacobson, I need David for an FM 20 thing tomorrow. Please give him the day off.
Amazing.
He didn't have the day off, which is why he wasn't in the intro. And I feel, honestly, Tom, if that intro had a little bit of, a Wolverhampton gorgeous boy in there, we'd get it sorted, and I'll be still doing the
100%.
save today. I'd have been the Palermo, you know what I mean?
If only. Yeah.
I blame David.
I mean,
David.
I do too.
Yeah. Sorry,
Such a shame.
Sorry.
And instead he was at home recording TikToks.
Yeah.
Oh,
50 likes and we'll send it.
Topless ones as well at that.
It isn't
That's only
topless,
fans.
Oh, I've got a great topless video of him. He hates it.
Kurt's got a good one too.
Of me?
No, it's just a good topless
Oh,
video
right.
that I've got of him.
I've got one of you in your pants as well, haven't I?
Wait, who said
Is
that?
that when he's tied up? Anyway, moving on.
Someone said in Dupe's chat today, Kerry Catona's got an OnlyFans. The chat was really silent for an awkward few moments. Yeah.
I mean, if you would like to enjoy some of that hilarious banter, 7 till 9 every weekday. Twitch.tv/Dupe.
/TomFM. Yeah.
/TomFM.
Anyway,
I mean,
COVID.
I've lost my trail of thought now. Yeah. I don't know where to pick up from that. In terms of
the script, Dave.
yeah,
The script.
The script.
Obviously, Tom, the whole sort of the podcast, we sort of pushing it obviously to help with people's mental health, help people sort of talk to each other a little bit more. Like, have you or would you ever feel the need, obviously, if you did struggle to reach out to people? Have you ever sort of been in that situation?
I find this difficult to answer because, like, I feel like to have an understanding of like your mental health and things like that, you have to understand yourself very well, and I don't know how well I do understand myself in a way. I feel like it's a big learning process. I'm 23, and like you feel like maybe you should know yourself, but I feel like through particularly this year, I feel like I'm learning a lot more about myself through various different things. So like, I mean, I don't know, and it's just a difficult question to answer that in a way. For me, at least.
It's a deep question. It's a deep question for a 23-year-old, I think, because if you've not had experiences, I think, that lead you to kind of question maybe your like mental well-being, it's a difficult question to ask you. But I think why we've added this question in was more about, could you ask for help or could you talk to somebody? Because we've just kind of been talking to each other and kind of saying that it is all right to talk. So even if you kind of go, I haven't had that experience, it's just, at least the message from us is you can just talk to anybody because it does help if you ever feel like you need to.
Certainly, yeah, I completely agree with that. Like, I obviously I'm very fortunate in the fact that like nothing like terrible has ever happened to me and things like that. And I don't know, I feel like it's a bit of a prick thing to say. I don't know, but like I've been very fortunate in that because I know, so there's this kid across the street. He's 20. Well, he was 21 3 weeks ago. He lost his battle with like mental health and things like that, which is so tragic and sad. And like, I think it's so important to because I don't know the ins and outs, obviously, but obviously he felt that way, and felt it was that was the only option. And I feel like it's just so important to be able to talk to someone, and I can't understand how he would have felt or someone else would have felt in that situation. So I feel like it's easy for me to say talk to someone because I know that I can talk to someone. I know if I felt bad about something, like there'd be you guys there, or there'd be like my real life friends, or
Wow, we're not real friends. Okay.
It sounded terrible when I had the pause, didn't it?
Internet
It sounded
mates.
terrible when I had the pause, but you know what I mean. And like, and because I know I'd be able to, and I know for a lot of people maybe that they wouldn't feel like that, but I try and encourage it in my Discord, especially in the past month or so, because of events that have happened. Saying that if there's always people who are willing to listen, particularly, and this is what I want to try and really focus in the next year in the community, is trying to make it really within my own community, really make it really close knit, so people feel like they can talk to, I don't know, Josh from the chat, or Nordwolf from the chat, or Charles in the the YouTube comments, or someone in the Discord and things like that. They feel like they've got someone to talk to, because I feel like I feel like it's just really important at the moment to have that outlet, because no one should, feel that bad. There's always, it's always going to get better. You may feel like it's not going to get better, but it always will do, and it always starts by talking to someone and sharing that problem.
I thought you was from Lincoln. All those names sounded like you're from Surrey, mate. But on the flip side, whilst I agree with you, mental wellness isn't always about feeling bad. Like you've talked about how going to the gym motivates you and it gets you going. So, talking about mental wellness isn't necessarily all about the negative stuff. It's about what you can actually talk to people about and go, this makes me feel great. So sharing that experience. So just because you haven't had that experience of maybe feeling like crap or not knowing where to turn, you have had the experience of, I know what makes me tick, I know what makes me get going, I know what motivates me. So by sharing that can help guide somebody else. So you said, I think you used the word, it sounds a bit prickish to kind of say, I don't feel like that, because you can motivate people, which is equally as positive.
I think when we started, the idea come about for this, and we sat down and discussed it and kind of discussed what we wanted to talk about, and there's no outline, there's no kind of aim for this. It's just kind of getting together and having a chat and making it out there, and everyone can kind of get involved. But if throughout these 30 days that we do this, and if we may even carry it on, we don't know what's going to happen, but we don't aim to try and break records of being the best podcast in the world or the most listened to. But if we can get to one person, and we can get to that one person, and that one person then knows there's someone that they can talk to, and maybe we could stop. I mean, this is a bit drastic, but maybe we could stop what happened to the lad over the street. Then it's a success. Even if it doesn't go to that far, but we've managed to give the message that people know that there is somebody out there, whether it's the professionals, whether it's your next door neighbour, whether it's the guy you buy your veg from, whoever, that there's somebody that will listen. And I think this day and age, it is very much out there. It's very much forefront of everybody's mind, and everybody's kind of, when you see it everywhere at the moment, mental health, it's brilliant. And what it means is that more and more people are getting to understand it better and getting to be more vigilant for it, and being able to discuss it better. So yeah, I mean, as much as I'm just kind of echoing what Joe said there, that there is different ways that you can do it, and being your positive and showing ways that make you feel good could always inspire others. Again, I mean, you look at me now, it's not where I used to be, but when I was in the gym, the amount of people that came along that journey with me, the amount of people that was in my DMs on Twitter saying that you've inspired me to do this, look at what you've done, and mentally and physically it's brilliant. So anything that you can do, anything that you can inspire somebody else, it's definitely worth it, mate.
I completely agree with that. That is, I think that's a much better way of what I'm kind of trying to say. I think you've nailed it on the head.
We've had 8 days to practice, mate.
No, but like these boys said, like links always in the description of every podcast to speak to any of us, to speak to the professionals. There's links to the websites there, which I'm pretty sure have got direct phone numbers or direct links to speak to people straight away, or obviously the WeShoeFM email as well. But to move on, Tom, to a little bit of a brighter note, we'd like to find out a bit more about you, your interests, what you do in your spare time. We always
Lincoln.
kick off.
Just ever think Lincoln.
Cathedral.
We always kick off with books. Are you a big book reader? Do you enjoy books? You got any you'd recommend? I mean, you got a little bookcase there, so I'm sure you got one or two in there.
Yeah, there's a few in there.
Dave, stop fucking flexing. You got a little bookcase.
Yeah, you got a little
mine.
A library just here to the left.
Yeah, look what Daddy bought me.
None of them are mine.
I haven't been reading as much as I probably should have been recently, but at the moment it's usually non-fiction stuff. So I did history and international relations at uni, so a lot of what I read is just history books, just because that's what I'm really interested in. So I've got one, I've just finished it, by Tom Holland, called Dominion. It's basically it's a bit of a history and a social commentary on Christianity and how that developed, started, and why that sort of is now dominant in the Western way of living. As I wouldn't say I'm a devout Christian or religious at all in any way, really. But we all have these like Christian ideals, don't we? I guess because of the community we've been brought up in. But that's obviously ingrained in like the mind of Europeans from all the way from the birth of Christianity, essentially. So it's a really interesting book, that one. I really enjoyed it. A lot of people probably switched off at that point when I started talking about that, but yeah, I've been reading a lot of history books recently.
Dupe?
No, nothing this week today, mate.
Nothing today.
I can't do it every day.
No.
But one thing I will say is very recently during the lockdown, I found a YouTube channel. I know it's not a book, but I'm just going to expand on Tom's history stuff. It's called I can't remember. Oversimplify, something like that. It's called. And it basically does like an animation series of all this stuff that's happened in history. It kind of simplifies it down so that somebody like me can digest it. And genuinely, I've actually found it very interesting, which has led me to kind of sit down and I had a telephone call with my uncle who's massive into his history, and we were having a chat about it. It sounds nerdy again, but like it's really piqued my interest. So yeah, sometimes it's funny what stumbling across the dark side of YouTube can actually do.
Stuff like that on YouTube though. Like I've been watching like some criminal podcasts, like people that have been inside for like 40 plus years. And it's just not something that I'd normally be interested in, but like some of the stories just mad. And like one of the guys now has got his own YouTube channel. I just watch his videos every day, and it's like something that I would never really do, but it's just something that's come up and always like something that I've been interested in ever since. So
you've changed, mate. Yeah. The chicken shop to the prison stories.
What did you say, Joe? From what to what?
The chicken shop.
I thought you said the Pengus Munch.
Pengus Munch.
I think YouTube is tremendous, like for stuff like that you can get caught in these little rabbit holes, and like whatever you find interesting, or whatever kind of ticks your boxes, or whatever. There's just somebody else out there that has the same ideas as you and has the same interests as you, and then they upload videos and you can just sit there and watch it. I mean, I remember going through a stage of watching this guy called Ants Canada who just kept ants, and I have no reason to want to watch it, but it was just like me and Raz just used to sit there and watch it all the time, just shit like that, just like it's just pointless, but it just is such an easy watch, and watching a guy so passionate about ants is just amazing.
Up the ants.
Up the ants.
What about you, Joe? What's that,
mate? Books?
Today's
We
recommendation?
doing books still, or are we doing YouTube?
Books. Billionaires.
The Billionaires Club.
Ooh.
Very, very good. Lots of, again, football finance kind of related, but it kind of takes you on a bit of a journey through how the Russians try to dominate football, and how Abramovich has got links to Vladimir Putin. Who's the guy that is with Everton? I can't remember what his name is. He was at Arsenal, wasn't he? Usmanov.
Usmanov, yes.
That's the one, yeah.
Like, again, linked with kind of going back to Putin, and it's just lots of stuff like that goes through kind of the billionaires that are in football, and kind of where they, why they do what they do, and kind of how they've made their money, and some of the corruption along the way that they've been accused of. But yeah, that's an interesting book.
Like that. They always seem to be interesting books that you got there about football. So I'll have to jump on it.
I wish I could read.
Honestly, I've got 3 bookcases here, and they're all football books.
So Dave's got a big one. Yeah. Tom's got a small one. You've got a medium-sized one.
Dupe.
No. I've got a Kindle.
No. Kinder
in your pocket. In his pocket.
Brueno, definitely Brueno. The white ones are tremendous.
Less of the Spanish.
Yeah. Talking of Spanish, Dave, that leads me on to my Netflix recommendation.
Go on then. Yeah.
Because I'm just going to do that. It's just a smooth segue. I watched about 40 minutes of it last night after our late night podcast about Fernando Torres on Amazon Prime, called The Last Symbol. It does have English. It is in English, and there's English subtitles if you wish. But it's a documentary about the life of him from the beginning to the retirement in Japan, and it is good, very good. At the moment, it's 5 stars. Amazon Prime.
What number did he wear in Japanese? Dope.
Rocco.
Same.
Yeah.
I need some.
I thought you was going to count to 10 then.
I did it in my head.
I need some.
I
need some film suggestions. The past few nights I've been watching different trilogies, like one a night. So I've done the Indiana Jones one. I need to finish off
Jones. Yes.
Yeah, I need to finish off Back to the Future trilogy tonight. I don't know what other ones to watch. What have you guys enjoyed?
The Matrix, but just watch the first one.
Just the first one. Okay.
I think I've got a couple for you.
Okay.
With a moustache like that, maybe Dodgeball, because Matey Boy has got a very similar moustache too. Miami Vice as well. He's got quite a good moustache. I have definitely just Googled films with giant moustaches in. Anchorman. I recommended you all of those. Anchorman. Yes, definitely.
Very good.
Yeah, so
there's
three
Anchormans now, isn't it? I think there's two.
Is there three?
No, there's only two.
Yeah.
I love Lamb.
I don't think I've seen number 2, you know.
Yeah,
I
that's
literally
quite
got home
good.
tonight.
Yeah.
Just talking of Netflix and stuff. I got home tonight, and the missus has been watching. I think it's called The Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
On Netflix, and
Yeah.
I watched probably the last 3 hours with her. It's actually really good.
Nice.
Really, really good.
It might not be the best one to admit, but I reckon one of the best series ever made is Downton Abbey.
High School Musical.
Downton Abbey.
Go on.
Oh, my
Downton
God.
Abbey. It is class. It is
I'd
so
have to
good.
say.
My sister would love you.
Yeah.
That would
Give
be.
him a rap.
That'd be quite.
Yeah. What's it?
Not
I
bad.
wouldn't, mate.
No.
Yeah.
She's probably got a better moustache than you.
Well, it's not hard. But it's not hard for anyone. But
It would be for his sister. I would say High School Musical is one of the best films. It's trilogies. If you want to watch a film trilogy, I remember losing some things to that.
Oh
so
my
go
God.
watch it.
oh no.
Marbles.
No,
Yeah, marbles.
no.
That's it.
I lost the bet. That's all I'm saying.
7 minutes in, never watching that one.
7. What are we doing? Cuddling.
Yeah. All right, 30 seconds then.
What are we doing?
I can't even
Cuddling.
remember the name of it. I was just about to say my guilty pleasure film, but I can't remember what it's called. It's the singing one.
Coyote Ugly.
No,
that's
the one the Green Bay Packers are in. The a cappella. I can't remember what it's called. See, you can't think of it now, can you? Anna Kendrick.
Yeah,
Fat
I know exactly what you mean.
I know.
Oh, I have to Google this.
And another one I like is Coyote Ugly. That's probably one of my guilty pleasure films.
What's it called?
Dope.
Yeah.
Coach
Pitch
Carter.
Perfect. Pitch Perfect.
Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
Coach Carter's a tremendous film.
And there's three
It's
of
not
those.
Coach Carter's a great
Three of
film.
those.
But Coach Carter's not a guilty pleasure film. Coyote Ugly is
Even when
Fool's
you've watched
Gold.
it like 400
Fool's
times.
Gold is a guilty pleasure because it's got Kate Hudson in it, which she's tidy at that stage, and they're in swim costumes quite a lot. And it's got what's his name, Matthew
Have you ever seen the film Wild Things?
McConaughey, right?
Yeah.
And he's literally he's just oiled up. I mean, he's on my list. That's all I'm saying.
What about, if you want a long one, what about something like James Bond trilogy?
Excuse me?
Sorry.
Trilogy?
Trilogy.
More than 3 minutes, more than 3 James Bond Steve.
I don't know what that means. James Bond series.
Bad Boys. That's a good trilogy, right?
Oh, Bad Boys. What a shout.
I don't think I've come
Bad
across that
Boys.
before. I'll have to add it to the
Oh,
list.
You've never
Get
watched.
on it.
Hang on, you went to see Bad Boys too?
I've never heard of them.
Oh,
that's in another trilogy, which is the Cornetto trilogy with Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and
Oh yeah, they're
Paul.
really good actually. They're good.
Yeah, and in that
you
he
got
goes,
red on you.
"You went to see Bad Boys too?"
I've not
Which is why I
actually watched any
referenced
Bad Boys.
I'll stop doing it when you stop laughing.
I'm trying to think of another one. I think that's it. I'm pretty shit with films, to be fair.
That's good. I've got a list now. I'll get on some of
I'd
those.
love to know what you think of High School Musical, mate.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, I'll admit I've seen it before.
Yeah?
I've seen it before, and it bangs. It
It
bangs.
does.
That moustache?
We're flying, mate. We're soaring.
There's not a star in heaven that we can't reach.
See, he knows.
He knows. He knows.
I actually did that as my leavers play at school. It's high
Did
school
ya?
and school.
Oh,
Last year.
Oh, it was a travesty. I got cast as Zeke.
Ooh. I wonder why.
And
You good at basketball?
yeah, nah. Basically, we did the auditions. We had to do it in front of everybody.
Did you wanted to go for Troy with that little
Yeah,
sweeping
right,
Lego
everyone,
around, didn't you?
everyone for
who
Troy.
doesn't want to go for Troy?
And like,
No,
I didn't really.
I prefer her, to
I didn't
be
really
honest.
sing that loud. Like, I was just a bit nervous, and I didn't get the role. And then when everyone got cast their roles, we did rehearsals, and everyone was shitting themselves singing, and I just went for it, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, why didn't we cast?"
Are you
him
good at
before?"
singing?
Yeah, I am bad.
Hang on. Tom's got a guitar, and you can sing. Come on, let's sing it.
That was before my balls dropped, to be fair. So
Okay. So last week.
What do you mean before?
Last week.
For your levers thing as well.
it was primary school,
Yesterday.
by the way. It was primary school, not.
Oh,
secondary.
there you
Oh,
go.
yeah,
Changing
yeah,
the
yeah.
gate now.
Yeah,
So
just,
last week then.
What's Lib singing for her leavers assembly?
It was 13-ish years ago, I think. So
Oh, Dave, you're old, man.
I'm the same age as Tom. Me and Tom.
Oh, yeah.
23.
See, look at that. You're the same age, and look what he can grow, and you can't.
I can,
Good
but
channel
it would look the same as
subscriber
that.
base.
It would look the
Oh,
same
sorry.
as that as well.
You meant his moustache.
Yeah. I'm not happy about this. Anyway, let's move on. Podcast, Tom. Do you enjoy podcasts?
Yeah, I do. I'll be honest, I've not actually, since I used to listen to loads when I was actually in the office, and as a distraction more than anything else. And then since I've been at home and there's other things to distract me, I've not been listening to them quite as frequently. But I think you guys like it. The Price of Football podcast. That's a big one. I really enjoy.
Good one.
Obviously, Peter Crouch.
Yeah, big up.
Oh, do you want to tell us your story, just in case people don't know?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I just got to listen.
Tell us your little story.
Well, just me and him are mates. I went to Crouch Fest to be the head of toilets. He invited me down. Got
To be fair, Tom, if you look at the photos, I don't think it's him you was mates with.
Yeah.
More his missus.
Well, yeah, that is true. That is true. My plunger's all over her face, but
and you think what I said is risque?
Which is very literal. Very literal. I was head of toilets, had a plunger. So I'm just saying what was happening.
She had a face.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, that was good fun. To be fair, bit mad weekend, because then I'm stood there holding a plunger and a high vis, and then there's Liam Gallagher stood next to me and Catherine Jenkins on stage, and I'm like, it's just a bit weird. But no, that was really good fun. So listened to a lot of him. There's a few like it's the Guardian. I can't remember what it's called. Guardian's podcast that they do. It's like their daily one, which is pretty good. Just sort of keeping the know with world events and things like that. A good one called History Hit. Dan Snow does that. He's pretty decent. Good lad, him. So yeah, that's kind of the ones I sort of listen to most of the time, as well as a 5-star podcast.
Oh, that's what we're waiting for.
Never heard of it.
It's just the way you
To be fair, actually, can we talking to a 5-star pod? I see a little shirt framing, Tom.
Oh, where is
yes.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I've just hit me.
He's broken something.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh no, hang on, he can't listen. We can talk about it now.
Yeah.
Oh, those jeans look
Oh,
good.
that one looks good, doesn't it?
No, not that one.
No, yeah, I want to see that one as well. No, I want to see that one as well. It looks good.
Wait,
though.
I can't hear you.
They're annoying,
You sound disappointed. What?
No, get the other one as well, the red one, or is that?
We wanted to see the red one, but the one
Great
that
framing.
the one that can fit in the t-shirt is the one that doesn't wear.
Oh, look at
There we
that.
go.
That's good.
I'll tell you what's
That's
annoying
good.
about this though. Whoever printed this isn't quite central, which is really frustrating.
Oh,
for
isn't
someone
it?
with a bit of
We
OCD
just sponsored
like
it, mate.
me.
It was nothing to do with us, the printing.
Blame Foxy.
Blame
Graphics
Foxy.
are terrible.
They do look good though, them, don't they?
I like his duvet. It's nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
His mum makes his bed well.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she's good.
Well, the thing is he's quite lucky, right? He's got a big room, so like he hasn't got a wall. He can just like flop it straight out. It works so nicely. Whereas like before, like when I used to live at home and I had a double bed, I had to like climb over and tuck it down the side because it was up against the wall, you know.
What are you talking about? Yeah,
You
the
wish.
duvet or?
Yeah, duvet.
Oh,
not
sorry.
cock, Dave. It's duvet.
I was surprised he stood up and he was wearing trousers. To be
Yeah,
honest.
to be fair.
I thought he'd gone full Zoom life.
Nah, that was
jeans,
would have been
mate.
risky, to be
Loving
fair.
life. Jeans indoors.
Mate, I am a jeans man, to be fair. I don't really. I mean, I wear a lot of shorts, but it's a bit cold at the moment.
Unless
so I
I'm
wear
at
a lot of
work, I
jeans.
do not wear jeans, man. I can't wear going out. Obviously, I can't wear jeans in the house.
I don't know.
I'm not
I
comfortable.
mean,
Don't wear
these are
jeans.
quite elasticy anyway, so they're a bit more like.
Yeah, so I've
leggings
got a
or-
pair
He's
of
got
these.
jeggings on.
No, they're like flexi jeans.
Jeggings.
They're
Yeah,
like-
they're kind of. Yeah.
Nah, they're not like jeggings, Dave. They're like proper jeans. But like I got Levi ones, and they just stretch a little bit, so they're like
nice,
jockey
yeah.
bottoms but jeans. And like seriously, the most comfortable pair of jeans I've ever worn in my life.
Yeah, they are. You got to look out for them.
Recommend it.
Brag.
Yeah, humble.
Well, I could have told you I got 5 of them.
I got a big bookcase. What about you?
I thought you were going to say something else then.
No.
That's a lie. I've seen the
I've got
TikTok.
Anyway, Tom, it's
I
been.
got a podcast.
Go on.
Sorry,
Oh,
I got.
sorry.
I got
Yeah, I was
you
about to
always
end it.
just leave me and Joe out of this, mate.
Mate.
No wonder we don't want to be on this anymore. What's Good podcast by
I don't know, mate.
Minnie Minter and Randy
Oh, right.
from the Sidemen and Tings. They literally just talk about their week. They talk about what's good, and it's just genuinely a very easy listen and a very good feel-good podcast, to be fair. And you can just pick it up from wherever. They have like guests on. They've had Calix on and Cal Freezy and stuff, and it's really good. Recommend it.
I've got one for Dupe as well.
Yeah.
See, Tom's a big F1 fan, so
Yeah.
I've converted Dupe into MotoGP.
Yeah.
Since, over lockdown,
Okay.
I've got him into MotoGP because the actual racing, he's tremendous.
So
I mean,
much better,
I've
probably. Yeah.
grown up around bikes and racing everything all my life, and obviously where myself and Dave we sit in Discord.
And I live with a
And-
bike as well.
Yeah,
Local
there
one.
is that.
Yeah.
Self-lubricating.
It leaks.
Yes, I got
That's childbirth. Does that for you?
fridges and your wife. But yeah, got him into MotoGP, and there is a podcast called The Race, and I keep meaning to recommend it to Dupe because
I'm downloading
he
it
asks me
as we
questions.
speak.
He asks me questions about MotoGP all the time because he's actually taking an interest in it. And The Race MotoGP podcast is really good.
Their
I'm literally
YouTube channel is
downloading it now.
really good as well. I watch a lot of their stuff.
Yeah, because they do a lot of F1 stuff as well, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
nice.
like you boys.
I
like
like
it
it
a
as
lot.
well, actually.
Yeah.
The Race MotoGP podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Oh, hang on, it's got the most recent rating is. If you haven't listened to this podcast, I'd recommend it. The steak
Mash
and
is
kidney.
really silky.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was
I
coming.
couldn't remember, which was
Silky
such
smooth
a niche
mash,
joke, but I
yeah.
just couldn't remember the
It was
fucking
silky
review.
mash. Silky mash.
Yeah, silky mash.
Yeah.
If you don't know what I'm talking about,
man.
which you won't, Joe left his first ever Just Eat review today because it was so good.
The Pengus Munch.
My Just Eat account, I think it used to be under my dad's name. So
Shock.
Whenever I went to collect stuff, they'd be like, "Oh, Adrian." So there was this place in a bit of a dodgy area of Wolves, but I used to go there all the time. They used to do like a
Compton.
chicken wrap, and it was lovely, man. Like every week I'd have one. So I went there the one day.
What was in it?
A chicken wrap.
Chicken tikka wrap.
Yeah, chicken tikka wrap. You know the drill. I went there, and he goes, Adrian? I was like, oh yeah. He goes, you order off me every week, but you never leave a review. I was like,
Is he Welsh?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what he was.
Sounds like your dad.
And I said, right, I'll leave you a review.
Do the accent. That's not good.
I said, I'll leave you a review. So he got me a bottle of Coke out of the fridge.
What did he say when he gave that back?
What?
Cheers, mate.
Yeah. Then they fucked up my order the next week, and I never ordered from him again. So.
Amazing.
Dave, I think we got 5 minutes, Dave. What about the Domino's delivery driver that told you off?
Oh, that was
my
tremendous.
word.
I remember being in Discord that night. That was I
This
couldn't
must have been a
sleep for
couple
a
of
week
years
after
ago
that.
now. This must have been a couple of years ago. I think I said, I really crave a pizza, man. I really want a pizza. And like about 15 minutes later, I said, right, lads, I'm going. And Joe was like, no, you can't go yet. I was like, why? And he goes, you got a Domino's coming? I was like, oh, bloody hell, all right. And he goes, only thing is, like, I know your road, but I don't know the house number. So my house is like a name rather than a number. So you put the number 1 of my street,
posh.
but then put in the comments what my house name was. And my phone was dead. And like I was there for ages, and I
Can't wait for this accent.
I was like, I'm not doing the accent.
Oh, please. Please.
All right. He goes. I said, Joe, where's it? Like, I don't want to be rude, but where's this pizza? And basically, I'm like looking out, and a car then pulls up, and the guy comes out, and he goes, I've been trying to call you. I was like, all right, my phone's dead. He goes, next time you order a pizza, make sure your phone is charged. I was like,
Is he Welsh?
"Oh, no."
It's Jackie Chan.
I was all right. And he was the most angry delivery driver I ever had. I was scared. Yeah.
I also remember, was that not very similar time scale to when you had that crank call as well? The funny prank one that
probably
literally
not.
lasted like 2
mate.
hours.
Yeah.
And you kept going, yo, dude, yeah, you got any up dog?
Up dog.
Yeah.
You got any up dog? What's up, dog? Yeah, what's up with you,
What
man?
is up dog?
Yeah.
I would also say, as we've got time, if you want to see an incredible Just Eat, you got to go to Swindon. Literally, when we did the 48-hour stream, the
choices
Just
were-
Eat was just incredible.
I like that one we had on the Saturday night with that milkshake.
I've never seen a Just Eat where you could literally have breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, we could. Like,
Delivered to
that's
your
what made
house.
it easy. I don't know what we're gonna do this time, boys. You have to bring something.
Packed lunch. Dairy and Lee.
Chef.
Chef.
Yeah.
To be fair, I have asked Jace to
I'll
come
bring
down.
Curtis chef.
He's a chef, isn't
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
He's very
a chief.
he? Yeah, I've invited him down. I said I'll pay his train
good.
fare.
Deep fries everything.
Yeah. Up the Jace. Well then, it's been another good podcast, lads. Tom, it's been fantastic having you on. As always, we'll leave the links for everyone in the description down below. Like we spoke about earlier, the email for WeStream FM is in the description, or the links to the professionals if obviously you want to get in touch with anyone. But yeah, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Another fantastic pod, and I'm sure we'll see you all very, very soon. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Have a great day.